possibilities and routes that I can take. Thus, to make my decision easier, I compiled my many years of intensive research in the form of sitting through various graduations. So, I have concluded that graduation speeches fall into four main categories: heartfelt, humorous, controversial, and words of wisdom. Going through each one, I found that heartfelt speeches are usually reserved for the valedictorian, so I'll save your tears for her. Humorous speeches are then fulfilled by the salutatorians. But you see, my humor tends to not be rated E for everyone, so we'll not go there. Controversial. Maybe not tonight. And finally, words of wisdom, because you know that 17 and 18-year-olds are very wise. Through process of elimination, I found that all of these would be out of the question. Logically, the only plausible course of action I could fathom was to do a little bit of all of them. So let's begin. Throughout high school, we become aware of many changes in the world, others, and within ourselves. Change can be a very beautiful thing, but it can just as easily be a slap in the face. We find our own ways to cope with these changes, and through our journeys, we uncover many lessons to be truths. Now, we are handed the keys to enter into a new world. Even though many of us have barely learned to cope with the changes high school had brought. That is not to say it is not welcomed, because with new adventures come new experiences, and through it all, we will continue to learn many new things. Tonight, I hope to share some of these lessons that I have learned thus far. I would like to begin by sharing one of the biggest lessons I have learned and carried with me since I was little. Sin miedo, or without fear. My parents have engraved this saying into my brain, for better or for worse. From learning to get my hands close enough to flip the tortillas on the comal, or face the people who put me down, I found that you cannot succeed if you carry fear over your shoulders. If you live with what ifs, you live a not so fulfilling life. You will agonize over the possibilities and opportunities you sacrificed to satisfy your fear. There are many new scary things we will face in the future, whether they're in the form of job interviews, college exams, or living independently. In the end, you must ask yourself, do or don't. However, sometimes our do's do not result in the ways we had hoped for. At times, we make mistakes. Like many people here, there are things in life we wish never happened, but they did. Sometimes they break us down, sever connections, hurt reputations, so on, so forth. I will be the first to admit that I have made many mistakes. However, it is not the end of the world, because the sun will always rise after a rainy day. No, you cannot close your eyes and twiddle your thumbs, hoping that God will fix everything. Instead, you are the one who decides that mistakes do not define you. Whatever anyone says about you is irrelevant, even if their words hurt, because in the end, you know who you are, and nothing in this world can deprive you of that truth. Before I continue, I would like to address an oddity you may have realized. Tonight, I chose not to wear my stoles, cords, and medals. Yes, I am proud of my accomplishments, many of which the world does not know, or will never know, and that's fine. The world does not need to know of my accomplishments, because I know what I have done and who I am. Yes. I can promise you that there are many individuals who wear one or no cords, but have done many more things than the common teenager will ever do. Whether that was involve themselves in church, work to support their families, or even help their peers in their competition projects. I do not discredit those with cords and stoles, because I have witnessed their hard work, their tears, their breakdowns, and the darkest circles beneath their eyes. They have earned their cords and stoles, and I will not take away from the honor they hold in wearing them. Instead, I would like to give credit to those who are not acknowledged. These individuals have done many things in their lives that go unnoticed. I have seen them working behind the scenes to make sure their peers shine, whether it was helping their classmates on projects without expecting anything in return or offering their shoulder for support. They are the backbones of many events and projects, and though I may not know the extent of their lives outside of school, I am aware of their efforts that should not go unrecognized. The class of 2019 has become a webbed unit of support amongst each other through smiles and tears, through hardships and success. Tonight, I want everyone to take a moment and recognize all their efforts and their victories. Most important of all, I want each and every one of you to recognize your own accomplishments, because there is no validation in recognition if you yourself do not acknowledge your own achievements. So before I conclude, I would like a moment to address some very important people in the crowd tonight. I would like to do this in the language they understand best. So, if I may. To my goddaughters, primeramente quisiera decirles unas palabras a mis niñas bonitas. Ustedes son las niñas más inteligentes y listas que he conocido en toda mi vida. Le doy gracias a Dios primeramente por el honor de permitirme ser su madrina. Mis princesas, les tengo un mensaje que quiero que tengan siempre. La vida es dura y a veces fallamos y a veces somos ganadoras, pero jamás se den por vencidas. En tiempos duros, mantengan sus caritas en alto y mantengan esa sonrisa que amo tanto. Yo tengo fe en Dios que lograrán mucho en el futuro, sea lo que sea. I love you, mis ahijadas.
Aww.
To my brothers, y'all have been the most patient chauffeurs a little sister could ever ask for. Our many adventures in Dragon Quest and Monster Hunter will always be in my memories. You guys are intelligent and have incredible potential, and I know if you try, you will make it far. I am proud to be your sister, and I know I hardly say this, but I love you guys. To my parents, mamá, papá, les pido perdón ante todo por mis errores. Yo sé que no soy nada fácil, pero aún así me brindaron amor y cariño cada día. Su apoyo me ha ayudado a ser la persona que soy. Jamás hubiera logrado lo que he logrado en este día sin ustedes. Le doy gracias a mi Virgencita mía por permitirme tenerlos en mi vida. Ustedes han trabajado inmensamente duro desde que llegaron a los Estados Unidos por permitir a mis hermanos y yo a tener una vida feliz. Mamá, estoy orgullosa de ti por trabajar. Por trabajar duro en cualquier cosa que haces. Desde estudiar cada momento que pudiste para tu ciudadanía, hasta nunca darte por vencida durante tiempos difíciles. Apá, aprecio todos tus consejos y por tu apoyo. Sin ti jamás fuera tan confiada en mis habilidades y capacidades. Soy fuerte y atrevida porque tú me has apoyado ante todo. Les agradezco con el alma por crearme y por todo el soporte que me han dado en todo lo que quise hacer. Los amo con todo el corazón. Now, I have come to the end of my speech. With my final words, I would like to address my fellow peers. To the class of 2019, be proud of who you are and your accomplishments because you have worked hard to make it here. Understand that you are your own limitation, and the only way you can succeed is if you overcome your fear. You will make mistakes along the way, but I know that you will succeed. Congratulations, class of 2019, and remember, sin miedo!
Woo!
Thank you, Rosalina. Ladies and gentlemen, if you'll direct your attention to the screens.